Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Erik Talks Wrestling. Today is a very big day in the world of professional wrestling. If you at all are following the WWE programming, probably the biggest wrestling syndicate in the entire planet, you would be very saddened and dismayed to find out the following news. And that was, during a live show in Dublin, Ireland, and this was Wednesday night, I believe. WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins sustained a very bad injury and will be out for a long period of time. So, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now, this could not have come at a worse time, especially since within the next month and a half, we're officially entering the road to WrestleMania. So, cutting back to what happened. What kind of injury are we talking about? Well, if you haven't heard by now, Seth Rollins was attempting to do a sunset flip, I believe, off the top turnbuckle to a powerbomb attempt onto Kane, and he landed very awkwardly, and the pictures were horrendous. He tore his ACL, his MCL, and his medial meniscus. Excuse me for being tongue-tied. It's a problem I suffer through most of my life, but I am working through it as we speak. So yes, meniscus, MCL, ACL. Anybody who has knee problems knows that this is some serious business. It is projected that he will miss the next 6 to 9 months, which means that the World Heavyweight Championship is now vacant, and the WWE has gone on record stating that they will be holding a tournament at Survivor Series to crown a new champion. Just want to say right now, I hope for the best for Seth Rollins. I hope that any of the surgeries that he's going to be having to take, I hope everything goes according to plan. Hope and pray for speedy recovery, and cannot wait to see him in the ring. By projections, they're saying he's likely to be back around SummerSlam, and that's it. It's a really safe bet. So, where does that put the company right now? Well, here's what's currently, here's the current landscape of the business. John Cena has taken some personal time off. It is not said how long. It is that he will definitely be gone till right around time for TLC. But a lot of that is just between him and Vince, and right now there's no timetable as to when he's coming back. Randy Orton is going to be out for at least 4 to 6 months due to a shoulder injury. I want to touch on that really briefly too. Apparently he had a battle with Oscar the Grouch while taking out the trash, and it looks like Oscar got the better of him. But seriously, he in a really stupid turn of events, he was taking out trash and he dislocated his shoulder. I'm not going to make fun of the guy. Stuff like that happens. I've seen people deal with so many worse injuries, especially with him. He's had issues with his shoulders for a while. It was in a medical report, and unfortunately, there was some bad news in that report. They're saying when it happens again, not if, but when. So news like this has got to hit the guy pretty hard. I would imagine it's something very similar to when Daniel Bryan got the news he did, because of the ongoing issues he's been having medically, as far as his shoulder, his neck, and I'm guessing he's been battling concussion problems. So, for anybody who thinks that this business, you don't get hurt in this business, yeah, this is all these stories are eye openers. Randy Orton, obviously, this time he hurt himself doing just stuff around his home, but obviously through over a decade of wrestling with the WWE and years of working in the independents training to come up, he's had issues with his shoulder before. So Randy Orton is likely to be gone for about 4 to 6 months, which means we probably won't see him until about Money in the Bank. Okay, and as far as me, and then of course you got Sting, and he's not cleared yet, and he's got a neck injury. He's nursing. So right off the bat, we got one guy who is currently taking time off, and 3 people with injuries. So let's get right into the thick of it here, and let's get to SummerSlam, not SummerSlam. Thinking way too far ahead. Let's get into Survivor Series. What does the WWE do? Well, I'll tell you what they don't do. Okay? What they don't do, okay, is they don't hold, the dumbest thing they can do is hold the title up for contention all the way up until, like, WrestleMania. Obviously, that's not even something they're considering at this point, since they're the first thing they mention after the Seth Rollins injuries, they're going to have a tournament for it at Survivor Series. So the one thing they shouldn't be doing is that, and that's keeping the title vacant for several months. They're not doing it, thank God. This right here, I think, is both a blessing and a curse. Ooh, excuse me. And what I mean by that is that for everybody who watches this show and cries out, they want it to be better, they think Raw and SmackDown are terrible, they want it to be better, this is basically your opportunity right here to take all that in. Now really think about that. The normal main guys are nowhere to be found. It is now up to mid-card to carry the show. The positive is that there's a very good possibility that a lot of really good talent is going to start getting some big-time pushes, and they need it very much. The negatives is that not everyone's going to get the push, and unless WWE gets so nervous about what's going to happen in the future, they just they make that quick phone call to John, and they just offer to throw more money at him, and they ask him to carry the company all the way to WrestleMania. And really quick, I just want to mention the reason why I keep making WrestleMania as a pivotal point in my argument is that for the last 2 years it has been made very clear that Vince wants Roman Reigns to be the next John Cena. He knows that John Cena can't be John Cena forever. He knows that the fans are very split on him. He wants Roman Reigns to be the next guy. He was going to have Roman Reigns be the guy last year around WrestleMania time, but he thought it was way too soon, and there was a change. There was a change in plans there. But I think the way they ended it last WrestleMania was the best choice. So, obviously there were talks about Roman Reigns winning the championship come WrestleMania time. But that may get moved up. So, in two and a half weeks, you never know. We could end up seeing Roman Reigns winning this title. And he... I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it would definitely make a Roman Reigns title run not as entertaining. I think the build up to WrestleMania would have been really, really good. Let me just paint a picture for you. He would have came out around the night after Survivor Series, and let's just say that Seth does not get hurt. They have a great match, but Seth ends up winning victoriously, doing what Seth does. Rollins comes out on Raw the following night, says that he understands that last year he wasn't ready for it. He's done a lot of thinking, a lot of soul searching. He wants to step up and be the champion that he knows deep down inside he can be, and really starts touching on some truly heartfelt stuff. Leave leave the family out of this. Leave his children out of this. He needs to make it a personal goal, something to strive for. We need a reason to get behind him, not a reason to feel sorry for him. So, with all that being said, where does that leave him now? Well, unfortunately, without knowing who's in this tournament and what's going on at Survivor Series, right now there's just too many question marks. One big question is Bray Wyatt going to be thrown in the main title event? I was on a show last night where we were talking about this, and while I love the idea of Bray Wyatt holding the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and having the rest of his Wyatt family basically hold protection for him, what that would do is it would ruin Survivor Series for The Undertaker, because they're already building this to be like the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker. They're already building this main event around him. So to go through all the trouble of how they ended Hell in a Cell and what we did with Kane, to kind of just, if they were going to cancel the match to go with that, I feel like it would be all for nothing. Granted, I think Taker and Kane are obviously their team players, so I don't think they're going to have an issue with it. But I think for the fans, it would definitely not be a welcome change. I would definitely see the next month and a half nothing but hijack shows from the fans, because they wanted their 25th anniversary Survivor Series match between Kane, Undertaker, and their mystery partners against the Wyatt family. And I think it would just take way too much away from Undertaker, considering the fact that they had him lose at Hell in a Cell, and now fans really want to get behind him as they head into WrestleMania season. So as of right now, there are just so many question marks and so many possibilities, and I am so optimistic as to what happens next. Guys, I tell you right now, if you're WWE fans, start watching, because you're going to start seeing some stuff unfold over the next couple of weeks. Some serious big changes. Like, everything they had going right now, just don't, I'm losing my train of thought. That's what happens when it's 4:30 in the morning. Don't be surprised if current stories and projects are dropped to do some other things. Don't be surprised if the feud between Owens and Ambrose ends up getting scrapped. Don't be surprised if anything else they have going on right now just takes a sudden turn in another direction. This right now is massive reshaping, and it could not happen at a better time. Unfortunately for the WWE, it came at the expense at arguably one of the best people they have on the roster right now. So I'll leave it at that. I plan on doing a follow-up video for when more details get announced. So let me write in the comments below what you think is going to happen. Who do you think is going to be the champion, and just any ideas or thoughts you have in regards to this whole thing. And you let me know. But until then, this was Erik Talks Wrestling. I do apologize if it seems like I'm a little out of place. Like I said, it's 4:30 in the morning. I am extremely exhausted, and there's just so many unanswered questions right now as to who, what, and where. But I do plan on having follow-up information ready to go. So guys, stay tuned. It's coming.